PCA Administrator Madrigal, Usec Lantayona, colleagues in the industry, participants to this Coco-Kwentuhan. Friends, magandang umaga sa lahat. NEDA indeed extends its congratulations to the Philippine Coconut Authority for organizing this Cocokwentuhan to celebrate the 35th National Coconut Week. We also thank the organizer for the invitation to be part of this Kwentuhan to express our support to the need to develop the industry. In the past 3 days of this celebration, there were several presentations and discussions already made with regards to various businesses and other development activities related to the coconut sector. Yung activities o mga negosyo na pinangungunahan ng mga kooperatiba noong first day ng kwentuhan, yung iba't ibang LGU efforts ay natakil noong pangalawang araw at kahapon naman yung mga private sector-led business efforts ang focus ng discussion. Today, we will be hearing success stories from community-based organized groups, which is the task I'm requested to expound and the need for such a scheme to promote the development of the coconut sector. From the presentations and discussions that took place in the past 3 days, and on those that will be tackled today, we can agree on the tremendous opportunities the industry can offer because of the commodities' diversified uses. Let me then start this keynote message by elucidating once again the importance of the coconut industry to the country's economy and to about 3.5 million coconut farmers and farm workers whose livelihoods are dependent on this so-called tree of life. Coconut is planted on 3.6 million hectares next to palay that is harvested from 4.7 million hectares of agricultural lands. It is grown in about 70% of the provinces of the country. The top producing provinces are mostly located in Mindanao. Coconut production over the past decade, from 2010 to 2020, averaged 14.8 million metric tons per year, valued at 30.4 billion pesos per year at constant 2,000 prices. Coconut subsector, including copra, contributed an average of 84.3 billion pesos per year at constant 2018 prices, or 5% of the total gross value added in agriculture, forestry, and fisheries sector in 2010 to 2020. Exports of coconut products have served as the nation's prime foreign exchange earner. In 2020 alone, the country's exports of coconut products such as coconut oil, desiccated coconut, and copra meal or cake is valued at USD 1.16 billion or about 67 billion pesos, which is 25% of the total value of exported agro-based products. I am sure that these statistics have been mentioned in the past 3 days for this event. The very reasons why we need to strengthen the industry that have for a long time been left in the periphery of government policies and institutional support. The signing of the Republic Act RA 11524, creating the Coconut Farmers and Industry Trust Fund by the President early this year, gives great hopes to address the perennial problems that have haunted the coconut industry for decades. The low farm productivity of coconut farms has been attributed to lack of good farm management practices, senility of coconut trees, and limited knowledge and access to farm technologies and to new value-adding or processing technologies, to name a few. This has been aggravated by the vulnerability of the sector to climate and disaster risks. The low farm productivity has likewise affected the productivity of the processing sector because of the unreliability of coconut supply, low quality of copra, and the multi-layered marketing of produced, resulting in longer delivery time from farmers to millers. The non-compliance of coconut products with certain quality standards has likewise had impacts on countries' stance in export markets. All these problems have resulted to the industry's low competitive stance both in the national and international arena. The multi-stakeholder platform pursued by the Philippine Coconut Authority, where all actors have been allowed to participate, decide, and find solutions to the problems that have pestered the industry, is indeed the way to go to chart its sustainable growth. In pursuant to RA 11-524, the Coconut Farmers and Industry Roadmap, or the COCO-FIRM 2021-2040, and the Coconut Farmers and Industry Development Plan, or CFIDP, are being formulated using the very platform with thematic recommendations, strategies, programs, and interventions that are very much aligned to the strategies in the updated Philippine Development Plan 2017 to 2022 for the sustainable growth of the coconut sector. Two areas can be noted in all the three development plans, the PDP, the COCO-FIRM, and the CFIDP, that indicate a paradigm shift in strengthening the industry. One is the emphasis to organize farmers into formal groups to attain the industry's goals. It should be noted that coconut production is dominated by small land holdings of 0.5 hectares to 5 hectares. Farm consolidation and clustering arrangement among small and medium growers need to be promoted, particularly in production, processing, and value-adding activities to take advantage of communal inputs and economies of scale. Through organizing small farmers, there will be better, perhaps increased access to support services such as formal credit, modern farm technologies and machinery, capacity building, and livelihood project, among others. This will enable even the smallholder farmer belonging to the organized body to adhere to market standards of supply reliability and product quality, as well as meet the demand of larger agribusiness enterprises and institutional buyers. Consolidating or clustering small farmers and MSMEs will also allow product consolidation, expand supply to existing markets, and open up new markets, thereby increasing their income. In addition, promoting forward linkages of farmers' organizations to industry sector is going to be beneficial from the economic standpoint. Schemes such as contract growing arrangement and corporate farming to integrate small farmers and MSMEs into larger agribusiness enterprises have been very much in practice, and many of them have been successful. Examples of which are the presentations that are going to be made today. The other area being exposed in the plan is on the adoption of the value chain approach to maximize the exploitation of the stream of benefits that can be derived from the various uses of coconut, and in the process creating more jobs in the countryside and producing quality products at least cost. New coconut products like cocoa water, virgin coconut oil, cocoa sugar, and many others are gaining traction in the export market, especially if they are labeled organic. Even in the case of the traditional products like copra meal as animal feed and coconut oil, which is up against stiff competition, there are still room for improving and modernizing the production processes. Through value chain analysis, interventions are not just concentrated in production of the crop, but also to the attendant processing, transport, marketing, and consumption of the products and its byproducts by the consumers. It will allow us to objectively look into our limitations and search for niches where we enjoy some comparative advantage. Let me stress at this point the government's full support in the establishment of farmers' organizations and MSMEs, especially those focused on agribusiness. Many of you are perhaps already familiar with the incentives like income tax holiday, exemption from export tax, and others that are afforded to enterprises registered in the DTI Board of Investment and which are engaged in projects and activities that promote commercial production of agricultural products, agro-processing, manufacturing of agri-fishery and machinery and equipment, innovation activities such as conduct of commercial research and development activities, and commercialization of new and emerging technologies, among others. Of course, government agencies such as the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Science and Technology, and Department of Trade and Industry continuously implement programs and projects that support coconut farmers' organization and MSMEs through the provision of agricultural inputs, information and access to production and post-production technologies, capacity building, and shared service facilities, among others, to improve the productivity and competitiveness of farmers and MSMEs. As of July 2021, there are about 18 government projects enrolled in the updated Public Investment Program 2017-2022, which are geared towards improving the sustainability and resiliency of coconut production, with a total investment target of Philippine peso 20.17 billion. Some of the proposed and ongoing projects and programs are focused on replanting and or rehabilitation of existing or standing coconut trees, mass production of high-quality coconut hybrids for distribution to farmers, and institutionalization of coconut-based enterprises through an integrated approach, among others. And finally, the establishment of the Coconut Farmers and Industry Trust Fund under the RA 11524, with its 75 billion peso budget, has now been made available to provide assistance to the sector for the first 5 years of implementation of the Coconut Farmers and Industry Development Plan, or the CFIDP. It is stipulated in the provision of the law that 5% of this budget is intended for organizing and empowerment of coconut farmer organizations and cooperatives under the Cooperative Development Authority. I am sure that this keynote message will be substantiated by the experiences of our colleagues in the private sector, who will share how organization-led agribusinesses are helping to achieve the vision of the coconut roadmap to make the coconut sector be a modernized, industrialized, and a globally competitive industry. I would therefore like to recognize the initiatives of the Virgin Coconut Oil Producers and Traders Association of the Philippines, or the VCOP, the Philippine Activated Carbon Manufacturers Association Incorporated, or the PACMA, and the Philippine Coconut Oil Producers Association, or the PICOPA, who are working for a common aspiration to actively engage various players in the coconut industry and fully realize the potential of the Philippine coconut products in the global market. In closing, let me enjoin all stakeholders to continuously work together to promote and empower coconut-based agribusinesses, be it led by cooperatives, the local government units, the private sector, or farmers and communities towards the development of the coconut industry. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat.